Simone Parker was not prepared for Lee Min-jae. She'd prepared for everything else about tonight's engagement party. The judgmental eyes of Seoul's elite. The whispered comparisons to Jin-woo's previous Korean girlfriends. The subtle racism wrapped in polite questions about where she was really from. She'd prepared for Jin-woo's mother's thinly veiled disapproval, for business associates treating her like an exotic acquisition rather than Jin-woo's fiancé. What she hadn't prepared for was the moment Jin-woo's younger brother walked into the ballroom at the Shilla Hotel, locked eyes with her from across a sea of champagne-drinking socialites, and looked at her like he wanted to devour her whole. "That's my brother?" Jin-woo said, following her gaze. His voice carried that particular tone of disappointment he always used when discussing Min-jae. Lee Min-jae, the family embarrassment. Don't worry, he won't stay long. He never does. But Min-jae was walking directly toward them now, cutting through the crowd with the kind of confidence that made people instinctively move aside. He was devastating in a way his older brother wasn't. Same height, same sharp features. But where Jin-woo was polished and controlled, Min-jae was raw intensity barely contained in an expensive black suit. "Hyung," Min-jae said, greeting his brother with a slight bow that somehow managed to look mocking. Then his eyes shifted to Simone, and the temperature in the room seemed to spike. "And you must be the woman my brother somehow convinced to marry him. I'm Lee Min-jae." He extended his hand. Simone took it automatically, and the moment their skin touched, electricity shot up her arm so intensely she nearly gasped. "Simone Parker," she managed to say, "it's nice to meet you. The pleasure is entirely mine." He held her hand just a fraction too long, his thumb brushing across her knuckles in a way that definitely wasn't accidental. "Although I have to say, Hyung, I'm surprised. She's far too interesting for you." "Min-jae," Jin-woo's voice carried warning. "Behave yourself." "I'm always on my best behavior." Min-jae finally released Simone's hand, but his eyes never left her face. "Though I have to ask, Simone, what exactly convinced you to marry my brother? It can't possibly be his personality." "Min-jae, that's enough. I'm genuinely curious. Was it the family money? The social status? Because if you're marrying for money, you should know I'm worth 3 times what our family company is valued at. I built it myself." His smile was sharp, dangerous. "Just so you have all the relevant information before making final decisions." Jin-woo's face flushed with anger. "You're drunk, go home." Completely sober, unfortunately. Min-jae's attention was still entirely on Simone, studying her face like he was memorizing it. "You deserve better than him. You know that, right?" "Excuse me?" Simone found her voice finally, anger overriding the strange effect he was having on her. "You don't know anything about me or our relationship. I know you're not in love with him. I can see it in your eyes." He leaned closer, voice dropping low enough that only she could hear over the party noise. "And I know that when I touched your hand just now, you felt exactly what I felt. So the real question is, why are you marrying my brother when you and I both know you're making a mistake?" Before Simone could respond, before Jin-woo could physically remove his brother from the conversation, Min-jae straightened, smiled like he'd just won something, and walked away. Simone stood there, heart pounding, skin still tingling where he'd touched her, and realized with growing horror that Lee Min-jae had seen through her entire carefully constructed facade in approximately 90 seconds. Because he was right. She wasn't in love with Jin-woo. She was marrying him because her family's struggling luxury hotel chain needed the Lee family's investment to survive. Because her father had negotiated this arrangement like a business deal, which is exactly what it was. Because at 31 years old, and after 3 failed relationships, She'd decided love was overrated anyway, and stability was worth more. And now Jinwoo's billionaire Playboy brother had looked at her for less than 2 minutes, somehow knew all of that. This was going to be a problem. "I apologize for my brother," Jinwoo said stiffly, straightening his tie. "He's always been inappropriate. Just ignore him." But 3 hours later, as the engagement party wound down and Simone stood on the hotel terrace getting air, she found that ignoring Lee Min-jae was going to be impossible. Because he was standing in the shadows, smoking a cigarette, watching her with those intense dark eyes. "You followed me out here," she said, not bothering with pleasantries. "You've been glancing at the terrace doors for the past hour. I figured you'd need an escape eventually." He took a long drag from his cigarette. "My brother's events are suffocatingly boring. I don't blame you for needing air." "What do you want?" "Honestly, I want to know why you're really marrying him." He moved closer, and Simone's traitorous body responded immediately to his proximity. "And don't give me some rehearsed answer about love or compatibility. We both know this is an arrangement. That's none of your business. It is when I'm watching you make the worst decision of your life." Another step closer. He was close enough now that she could smell his cologne, expensive, subtle, intoxicating. "Let me guess. Your family needs money. The Lee family needs what? American business connections, social prestige of marrying a beautiful black American woman to prove how progressive we are?" The accuracy was infuriating. "You're incredibly presumptuous. I'm incredibly right." He flicked the cigarette away. "So here's what's going to happen. You're going to marry my brother in, 3 months? 6 weeks. 6 weeks. You're going to marry him, and you're going to be miserable, because Jinwoo is constitutionally incapable of making any woman happy. He's too busy being the perfect son, the perfect CEO, the perfect everything to actually be a good husband. And I suppose you think you'd be better?" The words came out more challenging than Simone intended. Min-jae's smile was slow, predatory. "I know I'd be better, but that's not the offer." "What offer?" "I'm offering you an out. Right now. Before you make this mistake permanent." He reached out, tucked a strand of hair behind her ear with a gentleness that contradicted everything else about him. "Walk away. I'll help you. Whatever your family needs financially, I'll provide it. No strings attached beyond you not marrying my brother." "Why would you do that?" "Because the moment you walked into that ballroom tonight, I knew." His hand lingered near her face. "I knew you were supposed to be mine, not his. Mine." Simone's breath caught. "You're insane. We just met." "I know. Doesn't make it less true." His thumb traced her jawline. "So here's what I need you to understand, Simone Parker. If you marry my brother, I'll respect that. I won't interfere. I won't make your life difficult. But I need you to know, right now, before you make this choice, that you could have had me instead. And I would have worshipped you in ways my brother isn't capable of understanding. This is inappropriate. Everything about this situation is inappropriate. I'm just the only one being honest about it." He stepped back, creating distance that somehow felt worse than his proximity. 6 weeks. Think about it. Think about what you really want versus what you think you should do. I'm not calling off my engagement because my fiancé's Playboy brother has some kind of savior complex. It's not a savior complex. It's selfishness. I want you for myself. His honesty was brutal, unsettling. But I'm giving you a choice anyway. Because unlike my brother, I actually care about what you want. He left before she could respond, disappearing back into the party and leaving Simone alone on the terrace, shaking from an encounter that lasted less than 10 minutes but fundamentally disrupted everything she thought she knew about her future. The next 4 weeks were torture. Simone threw herself into wedding planning with Jinwoo's mother, who'd taken control of every detail despite claiming to want Simone's input. Dress fittings at the most expensive boutiques in Gangnam, meetings with wedding planners who spoke in hushed, reverent tones about creating the event of the season, tastings at restaurants Simone couldn't pronounce the names of. Jinwoo was busy with work, which was fine because their relationship had always been more partnership than passion. They had dinner twice a week. They didn't live together. Mrs. Lee had insisted it would be more appropriate to wait until after the wedding. They'd slept together exactly 3 times, and it had been adequate but unmemorable. Simone had convinced herself this was fine, this was smart. Love faded anyway. Financial security and family alliance were worth more than temporary passion. And then Lee Min-jae kept showing up. At the wedding venue consultation, sitting in the back of the room in jeans and a leather jacket, completely inappropriate for the formal meeting, but somehow making everyone else look overdressed. Mrs. Lee had asked him to leave. He'd stayed anyway, watching Simone with those intense eyes that saw too much. At the cake tasting, arriving uninvited and sampling everything before declaring the entire selection boring, just like Young's taste and everything else. He'd locked eyes with Simone while licking frosting off his finger in a way that definitely wasn't accidental. And she'd felt heat flood her body so intensely she had to excuse herself. At the florist, where he'd somehow known they'd be and brought a single bird of paradise flower. "Something actually interesting," he'd said, handing it to Simone directly. "Unlike all these boring roses my brother selected." "Why do you keep showing up?" Simone finally demanded after the florist incident. She'd followed him out of the shop, leaving Jinwoo inside discussing centerpieces with his mother. "What are you trying to accomplish?" "Reminding you that you have options." Min-jae leaned against his car, a sleek black Porsche that probably cost more than most people's houses. 6 weeks becomes 4 weeks becomes 2 weeks, and suddenly you're married to the wrong man and it's too late. Jinwoo isn't the wrong man. He's stable, responsible, respectful. Boring. You forgot boring. Min-jae studied her face. "And he's cheating on you, by the way." The words hit like a physical blow. "What?" "Jinwoo. He's been sleeping with his secretary for about 8 months now. Her name is Kim Yuna. 26 years old, Seoul National University graduate, extremely discreet." He said it casually, like he was discussing the weather. "I have photos if you need proof." "You're lying." "I'm really not. I had him followed because I wanted to know what kind of man my future sister-in-law was marrying." He pulled out his phone, started scrolling. "I can show you." "Don't." Simone's voice cracked. She couldn't look at evidence right now. Couldn't process this. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you deserve to know the truth before you legally bind yourself to him." Min-jae pocketed his phone. "Because my brother is a hypocrite who projects this perfect image while doing whatever he wants behind closed doors. Because you're about to make a permanent mistake for temporary financial security." "My family needs..." "I told you I'd handle whatever your family needs. I meant it." He moved closer, and Simone should back away, but couldn't make herself. "Let me help you. Let me give you what you need, without requiring you to marry someone who doesn't value you." "And what would you require?" Simone heard herself ask. "Nothing. Everything. I don't know yet." His hand came up, cupped her face with devastating gentleness. "I just know I can't watch you marry him. I tried to stay away, tried to let this go. But every time I see you, Every time you look at me like you're looking at me right now, I know I'm not going to be able to let this happen. This is insane. We barely know each other. Then let's fix that. Have dinner with me. One dinner. Let me actually talk to you. Get to know you beyond these ambush encounters at wedding planning events. His thumb stroked her cheekbone. If after dinner you still want to marry my brother, I'll back off completely. But give me one chance to show you what you could have instead. Simone should say no, should maintain boundaries, should remember she was engaged to his brother. One dinner, she heard herself agree. But this doesn't mean anything changes. We'll see about that. Minjai picked her up 3 nights later in the Porsche, looking criminally good in dark jeans and a fitted black shirt. He'd told her to dress casually, so she'd worn jeans too, though hers were designer, courtesy of Jinwoo's mother's insistence that she needed to look the part of a Lee family wife. Where are we going? Simone asked as he pulled into Seoul traffic. Somewhere we won't be seen by anyone who matters. He glanced at her, smiled. Don't worry, I'm not kidnapping you, though I did consider it. That's not reassuring. It wasn't meant to be reassuring. It was meant to be honest. He navigated through Gangnam, heading toward Itaewon. I'm taking you to my favorite restaurant. Tiny place, no one from our social circle would ever go there. Best jjajangmyeon in Seoul. Black bean noodles? You're taking me for jjajangmyeon? You say that like it's a bad thing. When's the last time you ate actual comfort food instead of whatever pretentious tiny portions my brother feeds you? Simone realized she couldn't remember. Every meal with Jinwoo was at expensive restaurants, with tiny artistic presentations and flavors she couldn't identify. The restaurant Minjae took her to was exactly as he described. Tiny, crowded, absolutely no one who would recognize them. They sat at a small table in the back, and Minjae ordered in rapid Korean before Simone could even look at the menu. I can order for myself, she protested. You can. But I've been coming here for 15 years, and I know what's good. He poured her water from the pitcher on the table. Trust me. I don't trust you at all. Smart, you shouldn't. His smile was devastating. But try the food anyway. When their jjajangmyeon arrived, massive bowls of thick black bean noodles that looked nothing like the refined cuisine she'd been eating for weeks, Simone couldn't help but smile. This is ridiculous, she said. This is real. Minjae mixed his noodles expertly. Eat. Tell me about yourself. The real stuff, not the polished version you present at my family's events. So Simone found herself talking. About growing up in Atlanta, daughter of parents who'd built a luxury hotel empire from nothing. About working in hospitality management herself, loving the work, but hating the pressure of being the boss's daughter. About her failed engagements, one at 25 to a man who'd wanted her to be a housewife, one at 28 to a man who'd been more interested in her family's money than her. And now Jinwoo, Minjae observed, also interested in your family's money. It's mutual interest. My family needs investment. His family needs an acceptable black wife to prove how progressive they are while maintaining control of everything. Minjae's bluntness was refreshing after weeks of polite euphemisms. My mother specifically wanted Jinwoo to marry a black American woman. Did you know that? She has this idea that it makes the family look modern and international. You're not a person to her. You're a strategic acquisition. That's harsh. That's true. My family's a lot of things, but sentimental isn't one of them. He ate his noodles, watching her. Your turn. Ask me anything. Why are you the family disappointment? Simone asked. You're clearly successful. You said you're worth more than the family company. Because I didn't do it their way. I was supposed to work for the family business, eventually take a position under Jinwoo, be the obedient younger son. His expression hardened. Instead, I took my trust fund at 22, invested it in tech startups and venture capital, and built my own empire. My current net worth is approximately $3.2 billion. The family company is worth about $1 billion. Simone nearly choked on her noodles. $3.2 billion. Yes. He said it casually. But it doesn't matter to my family because I didn't do it their way. I'm not obedient. I don't follow rules. I sleep with too many women. I don't attend the right events. I refuse to marry whoever my mother selects. He smiled without humor. I'm the embarrassment, the playboy, the son they pretend doesn't exist except when they need money. Do they ask you for money? Constantly. And I give it to them, because despite everything, they're still family. He set down his chopsticks. Which is why this thing with you is complicated. You're marrying my brother. You're going to be family. And I want you in ways that are completely inappropriate for future sisters-in-law. The air between them shifted, heated. Simone should change the subject, but couldn't make herself. What exactly do you want? She asked quietly. You, in my bed, in my life, choosing me instead of him. Minjai's eyes were dark, intense. I want to take you home right now and show you what it feels like to be with someone who actually wants you for you, not for what you represent. That's inappropriate? Yes. True? Also yes. He leaned forward. I've been with a lot of women, Simone. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. But I've never felt like this about anyone. Never seen someone and immediately known they were supposed to be mine. It's inconvenient as hell. But here we are. You can't just decide I'm supposed to be yours. I'm engaged to your brother. Then tell me you don't feel this. He reached across the table, took her hand. The electricity was immediate, undeniable. Tell me when I touch you, you don't feel exactly what I'm feeling. Tell me you're in love with Jinwoo and you can't wait to marry him. Tell me any of that and I'll back off right now. Simone opened her mouth to say exactly that, to end this before it went any further. But the words wouldn't come. Because he was right. She did feel it. Had felt it from the moment they met. And she wasn't in love with Jinwoo. She'd never been in love with Jinwoo. I can't do this, she said instead. I made a commitment. My family is depending on this marriage. Your family is depending on financial security. I can provide that without requiring you to marry someone you don't love. He squeezed her hand. Let me help you. Let me give you a way out. And then what? We date? You've admitted you're a playboy who's never had a serious relationship. What makes you think this would be any different? Because you're different. Because I'm 34 years old, and I've never wanted to settle down until right now. His intensity was overwhelming. I know my reputation. I know what people say about me. But I'm telling you, you're different. This is different. You don't know me well enough to make that determination? Then let's fix that. Spend time with me. Actually get to know me. See if this thing between us is real or just initial attraction. He stood, pulled her up with him. Come home with me. Tonight. No expectations beyond talking, getting to know each other. I need more time with you. Simone should absolutely say no. Should go home to her apartment, maintain appropriate boundaries. Remember, she was engaged. Okay, she heard herself say. But just talking. Nothing else. Minjai's smile was knowing. We'll see about that. His apartment was in Hanam-dong, one of Seoul's most exclusive neighborhoods. Penthouse naturally, taking up the entire top floor of a building with views that stretched across the Han River. This is excessive, Simone said, looking around at the modern luxury. I like nice things. Sue me." He went to the bar, poured 2 glasses of wine without asking if she wanted any. "Make yourself comfortable." Simone sat on the leather sofa, accepted the wine, tried to ignore the fact that she was in Lee Min-jae's apartment at 11 at night while engaged to his brother. "Tell me about your Playboy reputation," she said. "Is it true?" "Mostly." He sat beside her, close enough that their thighs touched. "I've never been interested in serious relationships. Commitment seemed pointless when I enjoyed variety. I'd date women for a few weeks, maybe a couple months, then move on when it got boring. That's terrible. It's honest. I never lied to anyone about what I wanted, never made promises I couldn't keep. I was upfront about not being interested in anything serious." He sipped his wine. "Until you. What makes me different? And don't say you just knew. That's not a real answer." "You want the real answer? Fine." He set down his wine glass, turned to face her fully. "You walked into that engagement party looking beautiful and miserable in equal measure. You smiled at all the right times, said all the right things, but your eyes were empty, like you'd made peace with being unhappy. And I thought, that's the saddest thing I've ever seen. Someone that beautiful, that clearly intelligent and capable, resigning herself to a loveless marriage because she thinks it's the smart choice. That's presumptuous. It's accurate. And then I touched your hand and felt..." He stopped, seemed to search for words. "Have you ever felt electricity with someone? Real, undeniable physical chemistry?" "Yes," Simone admitted quietly. "Did you feel it with Jinwoo?" "No. But you felt it with me." Not a question. "Yes. That's what makes you different. That's what makes this different." He reached out, traced her jawline with his fingers. "I've never felt that before. Never had that instant recognition that someone was important. And I know it's inconvenient. I know the timing is terrible. But I can't unfeel it." Simone's heart was racing. She should move away from his touch, but couldn't make herself. "What do you want from me, Min-jae?" "Really?" "Everything. I want you to call off the engagement. I want you to give me a chance. I want to take you to bed and make you forget my brother exists. I want to introduce you to my friends as my girlfriend, not my sister-in-law. I want..." He stopped himself. "I want things I have no right to want." "You're right. You don't. Tell me you don't want the same things." His hand moved to her neck, thumb stroking her pulse point. "Tell me you're not thinking about what it would be like if I kissed you right now. I'm engaged to your brother. That's not what I asked." Simone should leave. Should get up, call a car, go home, never see Min-jae alone again. Instead, she heard herself say, "I think about it constantly. I think about you constantly, and I hate it." "Why do you hate it?" "Because it's wrong. I made a commitment. Because my family is depending on this marriage, and I can't just walk away because I'm attracted to someone else. What if I could fix the family situation? What if money wasn't an obstacle? It's not just about money anymore. It's about my word, about keeping a commitment. Even if that commitment makes you miserable for the rest of your life." He moved closer, and Simone could feel his breath on her face. "Even if you're marrying someone who's cheating on you, who sees you as a business arrangement rather than a partner? You don't know that he sees me that way. I know my brother. He's incapable of genuine emotional connection. He performs the role of devoted fiancé because that's what's expected. But he doesn't actually feel it. He never has with anyone." Min-jae's voice was intense, urgent. "You deserve someone who actually wants you, who burns for you, who can't stop thinking about you even when he should. Someone like you. exactly like me. He closed the distance between them, lips hovering inches from hers. Tell me to stop. Tell me you don't want this. Tell me anything that will make me back away. Simone opened her mouth to say exactly that. Instead, she closed the distance and kissed him. It was nothing like kissing Jinwoo, nothing like kissing anyone else she'd ever been with. It was electricity and desperation and rightness all at once. Min-jae made a sound low in his throat and pulled her closer, one hand tangling in her hair, the other gripping her waist like he was afraid she'd disappear. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Simone's entire world had tilted. "I can't do this," she gasped. "You're already doing it." He kissed her again, deeper this time, and Simone felt her carefully constructed resistance crumbling. They ended up in his bedroom. Simone wasn't entirely sure how they got there, just that at some point Min-jae had stood and pulled her with him, and she'd followed without protest. "Tell me to stop," he said again, backing her toward the bed. "Tell me you don't want this." "I can't." Simone's hands found the buttons of his shirt. "I should, but I can't. Thank God." He pulled her shirt over her head, kissed her shoulder, her neck, her collarbone. "I've been thinking about this for weeks. Thinking about you. Driving myself insane wanting you." They fell onto the bed together, and Simone discovered that Lee Min-jae's reputation was entirely deserved. He was skilled in ways that should probably be illegal. Attentive and demanding in equal measure. He took his time, learning what made her gasp, what made her arch against him, what made her forget everything except the sensation of his hands and mouth on her skin. "You're incredible," he murmured against her throat. "Do you have any idea how incredible you are?" By the time they actually made love, Simone was so far gone she'd forgotten why this was supposed to be wrong. Forgotten everything except the way he felt. The way he looked at her like she was the only thing that mattered in the entire world. Afterwards, lying tangled together in his bed, reality started creeping back in. "I just cheated on your brother," Simone said quietly. "You had sex with the man you're supposed to be with instead of the man you're settling for." Min-jae pulled her closer. "That's not cheating. That's not how the world will see it. I don't care how the world sees it. I care how you see it." He kissed the top of her head. "Stay tonight. Don't go home. Stay here with me. I can't. You can. You're a grown woman making a choice. Choose to stay." His arms tightened around her. "Choose me." And despite everything, despite Jinwoo, despite the wedding in 2 weeks, despite her family's expectations, Simone chose to stay. Simone woke up in Min-jae's bed to sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows and the realization that she'd made a catastrophic mistake. She was engaged to Jinwoo. The wedding was in 2 weeks. Her family had already accepted the Lee family's investment. Guests had been invited. Her dress was being altered for final fitting next week. And she'd just spent the night with the groom's brother. "Stop spiraling." Min-jae's voice came from the doorway. He was wearing pajama pants and nothing else, holding 2 cups of coffee. "I can hear you panicking from the kitchen." "I have every reason to panic." Or you could accept that last night happened because it was supposed to happen. He handed her coffee, sat on the edge of the bed. "And now you have a decision to make." "There's no decision. I'm engaged to Jinwoo. This, whatever this was a mistake." "It wasn't a mistake. It was the first honest thing you've done since agreeing to marry my brother." He sipped his coffee, watching her. "But if you genuinely want to pretend last night didn't happen, if you genuinely want to marry Jinwoo, I'll let you go. I meant what I said. I won't interfere." "Really? Really?" "But Simone," his expression was serious now, Before you make that decision, you need to see something. He pulled out his phone, pulled up a photo, handed it to her. It was Jin-woo, with a beautiful young Korean woman, kissing her outside what looked like an apartment building. The timestamp showed it was from 3 days ago. That's Kim Yuna, Min-jae said quietly. His secretary. I told you he was cheating. Here's your proof. Simone scrolled through more photos. Jin-woo and the woman having dinner, entering a hotel together. The evidence was undeniable. How long have you had these? About 2 weeks. I had him followed because I needed you to see who you were really marrying. Min-jae took the phone back. He's been with her for 8 months. He has no intention of ending it after you're married. He'll just be more discreet. Why didn't you show me these sooner? Because I wanted you to choose me because you wanted me, not because you were angry at him. He moved closer. I wanted last night to happen because you couldn't resist me, not because you were getting revenge. Simone felt tears burning her eyes. I need to go. I need to think. Then think here. Stay with me today. Let me take care of you while you figure out what you want. His hand found hers. Please. She should leave, should put distance between them, should figure this out alone. But Min-jae was looking at her with such genuine concern, such complete focus, that she found herself nodding. Okay, today, but then I need to make I need decisions. That's all I'm asking. They spent the day in his apartment. Min-jae made breakfast. Apparently, he was an excellent cook when he wanted to be. They talked for hours, and Simone learned things about him that contradicted his playboy reputation. He donated anonymously to over 20 charities. He'd put 3 of his high school friends through college when they couldn't afford it. He visited his grandmother every Sunday without fail. He was teaching himself to play piano because his mother had always wanted one of her sons to be musical. You're not what I expected, Simone said that afternoon. They were on his balcony, overlooking the Han River. What did you expect? Shallow, selfish, only interested in pleasure and money. I am interested in pleasure and money, but I'm also interested in other things. He looked at her. Like you. Very, very interested in you. This is impossible. Even if I call off the wedding, we can't be together. Your family would never accept it. I don't care what my family accepts. I stopped living for their approval years ago. He pulled her against him. If you choose me, I'll handle my family. I'll handle everything. All you have to do is decide what you actually want. Before Simone could respond, her phone rang. Jin-woo. Answer it, Min-jae said, but put it on speaker. Simone answered, hands shaking slightly. Hello? Where are you? Jin-woo's voice was sharp. Mother said you missed your fitting this morning. I wasn't feeling well. I'm resting. Are you at home? I'll come by after work. No, Actually, Jin-woo, we need to talk. About what? Simone looked at Min-jae, who nodded encouragingly. About us. About the wedding. About Kim Yuna. Silence on the other end. Then, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't lie to me. I know you've been seeing her. I have photos. Simone, where is this coming from? Who told you? His voice changed, understanding dawning. You're with Min-jae, aren't you? He's been poisoning you against me. He showed me evidence of you cheating. Is this true? It's not. Simone, listen to me. Whatever my brother told you, whatever he showed you, it's manipulation. He's trying to sabotage this wedding because he can't stand seeing me happy. You're not happy, and neither am I. This whole arrangement is a business deal that we've been pretending is a relationship. That's not true. I care about you. You're sleeping with your secretary. That's That situation is complicated? It's actually very simple. You've been lying to me. You're planning to keep lying to me after we're married, and I'm done. Simone's voice was steadier now. The wedding is off. You can't just call off the wedding. Do you have any idea what this will do to both our families? The scandal? The business implications? I'll deal with the consequences. But I'm not marrying you. Is this because of Minjai? Are you sleeping with my brother? His voice was venomous now. Simone looked at Minjai, who was watching her with pride in his eyes. Yes, she said clearly. I am. And unlike you, I'm not going to lie about it. She hung up before Jinwoo could respond. For a moment there was silence. Then Simone started laughing, slightly hysterical laughter that came from relief and terror in equal measure. I just ended my engagement, she said. You did. Minjai pulled her into his arms. And I'm so fucking proud of you. My family's going to kill me. Your family's going to kill me. The scandal, it will blow over. They always do. He kissed her forehead. And I meant what I said. I'll handle everything. The finances, the fallout, all of it. You just focus on what you want. I want you, Simone heard herself say. That's the terrifying part. I barely know you and I want you anyway. Then let's fix the barely knowing each other part. He smiled. Stay with me. Move in here. Let me actually date you properly while we deal with the fallout. That's insane. Everything about this situation is insane. Might as well commit fully. He kissed her properly this time. What do you say? Simone thought about her tiny apartment, her family's expectations, the life she'd been building with Jinwoo that had felt like wearing someone else's clothes. Okay, she said. Okay, let's be insane together. 3 days later, Minjai took Simone to a family dinner. This is a terrible idea, she said as they pulled up to the Lee family estate in Pyeongchang-dong. Your mother is going to murder me with her bare hands. My mother is going to try to intimidate you. Don't let her. Minjai squeezed her hand. I've got you. Just remember, you didn't do anything wrong. Jinwoo's the one who was cheating. I slept with his brother. After calling off the engagement. That's different. Ready? Absolutely not. That's the spirit. The Lee family home was massive. Traditional Korean architecture mixed with modern luxury, set on grounds that probably cost more than most people earned in a lifetime. Mrs. Lee answered the door herself, which was never a good sign. Minjai, she said coldly. And you brought her. How brave. Mother, you remember Simone, my girlfriend. The possessiveness in Minjai's voice was clear. Your brother's ex-fiancée, you mean? Mrs. Lee's eyes raked over Simone with naked disdain. Come in. Your father wants to speak with you both. The family was gathered in the formal dining room. Jinwoo sat at the table looking furious. Mr. Lee sat at the head, expression unreadable. And Jinwoo's secretary, Kim Yoona, sat beside him, looking terrified. You brought her? Simone said, gesturing to Yoona. I brought proof that I'm not the villain here. Jinwoo said coldly. Yoona and I are in love. We have been for months. But I couldn't break the engagement because of the business arrangement with your family. So instead, you cheated. Simone's voice was hard. I was going to end things with her after we married. I was willing to sacrifice my happiness for family obligation. But then you... He looked at Minjai with pure hatred. Then my brother decided to destroy everything as usual. I didn't destroy anything, Minjai said calmly, pulling out a chair for Simone. I just showed her who you really are. Not my fault you couldn't keep it in your pants. Boys, Mr. Lee's voice cut through the rising tension. Enough. Simone, please sit. We need to discuss this situation rationally. Simone sat, feeling like she was facing a firing squad. Min-jae sat beside her, his hand finding hers under the table. First, Mr. Lee said, I want to understand the timeline. Jin-woo, when did your affair with Miss Kim begin? 8 months ago, Jin-woo admitted, but I was going to end it. After the wedding, yes, you said. Mr. Lee turned to Simone. And when did your involvement with Min-jae begin? After I called off the engagement, Simone said firmly. 3 days ago. She's lying, Jin-woo said. They've been seeing each other for weeks. Min-jae has been sabotaging this wedding from the beginning. I showed up at wedding planning events because I was trying to get to know my future sister-in-law, Min-jae said smoothly. Not my fault I discovered Hyung was cheating and felt obligated to tell her. You weren't being noble. You wanted her for yourself. True. But that doesn't make the cheating less real. Min-jae leaned back in his chair. Here's what actually happened. You've been sleeping with your secretary for 8 months while planning a wedding to Simone. I discovered this, showed her evidence, she called off the engagement. Then, as 2 consenting adults, we decided to see where things between us could go. None of that reflects badly on her. All of it reflects badly on you. You slept with your brother's fiancée. Jin-woo's control was cracking. Ex-fiancée. After she ended things with you. Let's not forget this part. Mrs. Lee cut in. Regardless of timing, this is a scandal. Simone was engaged to Jin-woo for months. And now suddenly she's with Min-jae. How do you think that looks? Like she upgraded, Min-jae said pleasantly. This isn't a joke. I'm not joking. She left a cheater for someone who will actually treat her right. That's a happy ending. The business arrangement, Mr. Lee started. I'll handle it, Min-jae interrupted. Whatever investment you promised Simone's family, I'll provide it. Directly from my personal fortune, the business relationship continues. The only thing that changes is who she's dating. You can't just throw money at this situation. Watch me. Min-jae pulled out his phone, made a call. Kim. Yes, it's me. I need you to draw up an investment agreement with Parker Hotels. Exact same terms my father offered. But it comes from my funds, not the family company. Yes, I'm serious. I don't care if it's irregular. Make it happen. Tomorrow is fine. Thanks. He hung up, looked at his father. Done. Parker Hotels gets their investment. Your business arrangement stands. The only thing that changes is the wedding and who Simone is dating. Problem solved. The room was silent for a long moment. You're willing to invest that much money just to date this woman? Mrs. Lee's voice was incredulous. I'm willing to invest that much money to remove the only obstacle keeping her from choosing what she actually wants. Min-jae looked at Simone. Money's easy. Finding someone worth spending it on is hard. This is insane, Jin-woo said. You're both insane. She's using you, Min-jae. She wanted our family money, and now she's figured out you have more of it. Actually, Simone said, finding her voice finally. I wanted financial security for my family. Your money, Min-jae's money, it doesn't matter whose it is. The difference is, Min-jae isn't demanding I marry him in exchange for it. He's offering help without strings attached. That's generosity. And if you two break up? Mrs. Lee challenged. If this little romance falls apart in a few months, what then? Then it falls apart, Min-jae said simply. The investment stands regardless. I'm not my brother. I don't attach conditions to every act of basic decency. Jin-woo stood abruptly, knocking his chair back. I'm done with this. Yuna, we're leaving. Jin-woo, sit down, Mr. Lee started. No, I'm not sitting here while you all act like I'm the villain. I fell in love with someone while engaged in an arranged marriage I never wanted. Min-jae actively pursued my fiancé to satisfy his own ego. But somehow, I'm the bad guy. He looked at Simone with contempt. You deserve each other. Both of you are selfish, impulsive, and you'll crash and burn within 6 months. I'll be waiting for the apology when you realize what a mistake this was. He left, pulling Yuna with him. The silence that followed was deafening. Well, Mr. Lee said finally, this is certainly not how I expected family dinner to go. When does it ever go as expected with our family? Min-jae stood, pulling Simone up with him. If we're done here, I'm taking Simone home. Unless there's more you'd like to yell at us about? Mrs. Lee stood too. You're making a mistake, Min-jae. This relationship will end badly. Maybe. Or maybe it's the best decision I've ever made. He looked at his mother steadily. Either way, it's my life and my choice. Just like it was Jin-woo's choice to cheat. Just like it's Simone's choice to be with me instead of him. Your father and I will discuss the business implications. You do that. Let me know what you decide. In the meantime, I'll be living my life the way I want to. He turned to Simone. Ready to go? Simone nodded, not trusting her voice. They made it to the car before she completely fell apart. That was horrible, she said, tears finally spilling over. It was necessary. Min-jae pulled her against him. And you were incredible. You didn't back down, didn't let them intimidate you. I'm so proud of you. Your family hates me. My family hates anyone who disrupts their careful plans. They'll get over it. He kissed the top of her head. And if they don't, we'll build our own family. Just us. This is moving so fast. We've known each other for 6 weeks. Best 6 weeks of my life. He pulled back to look at her face. But if you want to slow down, we can slow down. We can take this at whatever pace you're comfortable with. Simone thought about it. Thought about the safe, slow courtship she'd had with Jin-woo that had led to an engagement based on practicality rather than passion. Thought about her failed relationships before that, where she'd been careful and measured and still ended up alone. I don't want to slow down, she heard herself say. I want to see where this goes. Fast or slow, I want to try. Min-jae's smile was brilliant. Yeah? Yeah. But Min-jae, I need you to understand something. I'm scared. I'm terrified, actually. Because I'm starting to feel things for you that I've never felt for anyone. And it's only been 6 weeks, and that should be impossible. It should be. But here we are anyway. He cupped her face in both hands. I'm scared too. I've never wanted someone to stay before. Never cared if relationships ended. But the thought of you walking away, it actually scares me. Which is new and uncomfortable, and I hate it. You hate being scared I'll leave? I hate feeling vulnerable, but I'm willing to feel it for you. He kissed her softly. So let's both be scared together and see what happens. They went back to his apartment, and this time when they made love, it felt different. Less desperate, more intentional. Like they were building something instead of just giving in to attraction. Afterwards, lying tangled together in his bed, Simone asked, what happens now? With your family? With my family? With all of this? Now, we tell your parents what happened. We deal with whatever fallout comes. We figure out how to actually be in a relationship since neither of us has a great track record with that. He played with her hair, and we prove everyone wrong about us crashing and burning. You really think we can do this? I think if we want it badly enough, we can do anything. He pulled her closer. Do you want it? Really want it? Yes, Simone said, and meant it. I really do. The next 3 weeks were chaos. Simone's parents flew to Seoul immediately after hearing the engagement was off. Her mother was devastated. Her father was furious. The hour-long conference call where Simone explained everything, Jin-woo's cheating, Min-jae's intervention, the investment being honored anyway, was one of the most difficult conversations of her life. You called off your wedding weeks before the date for a man you barely know, her mother said. Simone, this isn't like you. You're practical, responsible. This is me choosing what I actually want instead of what's convenient. Simone interrupted. I wasn't in love with Jin-woo. I never was. I was settling for security, and Min-jae made me realize I deserve more than that. Min-jae is a playboy with a reputation. Min-jae is an incredibly successful businessman who's choosing to be with me despite his family's disapproval. Who's providing the investment without demanding marriage in return? Who treats me like I actually matter instead of like a business acquisition? Simone's voice was firm. I know this looks impulsive. I know it's fast. But I'm doing this anyway. Her father sighed heavily. If you're certain about this, I am. Then we'll support you. But Simone, if this man hurts you, I know. You'll kill him. Min-jae knows too. He's terrified of you both. That made her father laugh, despite everything. Good. He should be. The media coverage was intense. Korean tabloids had a field day. Lee family wedding scandal. Billionaire brothers fight over American beauty. Perfect. Son's secret affair exposed. Min-jae handled it with surprising grace, releasing a simple statement. Lee Jin-woo and Simone Parker ended their engagement by mutual agreement. I'm grateful to be dating Simone now. We request privacy during this transition. Jin-woo, predictably, told a different story to anyone who'd listen. But the photos of him with Kim Yoona made it hard for him to claim victimhood. Through it all, Min-jae was steady. We're going to be fine, he told her repeatedly. Better than fine. We're going to be happy. And surprisingly, they were. Simone officially moved into Min-jae's apartment, started actually dating him properly. Dinners, movies, weekend trips to Jeju Island. Met his friends, who were nothing like the shallow socialites she'd expected. Started working with her father on expanding Parker Hotel's presence in Asia now that they had the Lee investment secured. She also discovered that Min-jae's reputation as a playboy extended to the bedroom in ways that were simultaneously wonderful and humbling. The man had stamina and skill in quantities that should be illegal. And unlike Jin-woo, who treated sex like an obligation to be completed efficiently, Min-jae treated it like an art form to be perfected. But Simone had her own surprises for him. I need you to understand something, she told him one night after their third round in as many hours. I have a very high sex drive. My ex-husband used to complain about it, said I was insatiable, exhausting, demanded too much. Min-jae looked at her like she'd just given him the best news of his life. You're telling me you want sex as much as I do? That's a gift. You say that now. Wait until I wear you out. Challenge accepted. He pulled her on top of him. Do your worst. What followed was a revelation for both of them. Min-jae discovered that for the first time in his life, he'd met someone who could actually match him. Simone discovered that her too much was exactly right for someone who appreciated it. I take it back. Min-jae gasped hours later, collapsed on his back and breathing hard. You're going to kill me. Wasn't the challenge to keep up? Simone was barely winded. How are you not exhausted? High sex drive, I told you. She traced patterns on his chest. Does this bother you? Are you kidding? This is the best problem I've ever had. He laughed. Though I might need to start training, cardio, stamina work. You're a lot. Too much? No, never too much. Just a lot in the best possible way. He pulled her down for a kiss. I love that you're like this. Love that you're not holding back or pretending to be less than you are. It was the first time he'd used the word love in any context, and both of them noticed. Minjae. I know. It's too soon. We've only been together for 3 weeks. He cupped her face. But I'm falling in love with you. Maybe I have been since the engagement party. And I know that's fast and probably crazy. But there it is. Simone's heart was pounding. I'm falling in love with you too, and it terrifies me. Why? Because I've never felt like this before. This intense, this fast, this certain. She closed her eyes. What if we're just caught up in the scandal and the drama and the forbidden aspect? What if this isn't real? It's real. I know it's real. He kissed her softly. But if you need more time to be sure, I can wait. I'm not going anywhere. 2 months after the broken engagement, Minjae and Simone received an invitation. Jin Woo and Kim Yuna were getting married. You've got to be kidding me, Simone said, staring at the expensive cardstock. 2 months. He's marrying her after 2 months. Apparently he can make quick decisions when he actually wants something. Minjae read over her shoulder. Are we going? Absolutely not. That would be insane. Or it would show everyone we've moved on, that we're confident in our relationship. He wrapped his arms around her from behind. Plus, I'd love to see my family's faces when we show up together. You want to go to your brother's wedding to his former mistress, with me, his former fiancée who you're now dating. That's your idea of a good time? When you put it that way, it does sound messy. He kissed her neck. But yes, I want to go. I want to show you off. I want Jinwoo to see how happy you are. I want my parents to see that we're serious. Are we? Serious? Minjae turned her around to face him. You've been living with me for 2 months. We've said, I love you. We're building a life together. How is that not serious? I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop. For you to realize this is too complicated, or for the scandal to become too much, or for you to get bored like you did with everyone else. I'm not bored. I'm the opposite of bored. I'm more interested in you now than I was 2 months ago. He tucked her hair behind her ear. Simone, I know my reputation. I know what people think about me, but you're different. This is different. And I'm all in if you are. What does all in mean? It means I love you. It means I want a future with you. It means... He stopped, seemed to make a decision. It means I want to marry you. Eventually. When you're ready. Simone's breath caught. That's... Minjae, we've been together for 2 months. I know. That's why I said eventually. I'm not proposing right now. I'm just telling you where my head is. Where my heart is. He cupped her face. I want forever with you. I've never wanted forever with anyone. But I want it with you. I want that too, Simone admitted. But I'm scared. Everything is happening so fast. Then let's slow down. Let's take our time. But Simone, don't doubt what this is. Don't doubt us because of timing or other people's opinions. We're real. This is real. They decided to attend the wedding. The ceremony was at the same venue where Simone and Jinwoo's wedding was supposed to have been. Simone tried not to think about the symbolism of that. They arrived together, Minjae's hand firmly in hers. The whispers started immediately, but they'd expected that. What they hadn't expected was Jinwoo's expression when he saw them. Not anger, not jealousy, regret. Deep, profound regret. The ceremony was beautiful. Yuna looked radiant. Jinwoo looked conflicted. At the reception, Minjai kept Simone close, introducing her to people as his girlfriend with unmistakable pride. They danced, they laughed, they showed everyone that they were genuinely happy together. And then Jinwoo approached them. "Simone, can we talk? Privately?" "No," Minjai said immediately. "Anything you need to say, you can say in front of me." "Fine." Jinwoo looked at Simone. "I made a mistake. With you. With all of it. I should have been honest from the beginning. About Yuna, about my feelings, about everything." "You're right. You should have." Simone's voice was calm. "But you weren't. And now you're married to someone else. And I'm with Minjai. We've both moved on." "Have we?" "Because I look at you and I see what I gave up. I see what I could have had if I'd just been honest." "You see someone you treated like a business transaction," Minjai cut in. "Someone you cheated on. Someone you plan to keep cheating on after marriage. You don't get to have regrets now." "I wasn't talking to you." "Too bad. She's mine now. You don't get to make her doubt herself or us." "I'm not trying to—" Jinwoo stopped, seemed to struggle with something. "Simone, are you really happy with him? Really? Or are you just caught up in the drama and rebellion?" "I'm really happy," Simone said firmly. "Happier than I ever was with you. Minjai treats me like I matter, like I'm a priority instead of an obligation. That's the difference. He's going to hurt you. He always gets bored. He always leaves." "Maybe. Or maybe I'm different." Simone squeezed Minjai's hand. "Either way, it's my choice to make, not yours." Jinwoo looked between them, seemed to accept defeat. "Fine. I hope you're both happy then." He walked away, back to his new wife, and Simone felt the last piece of guilt about ending their engagement finally dissolve. "You okay?" Minjai asked quietly. "I'm perfect. Let's get out of here." They left the reception early, went back to the apartment, and made love with an intensity that felt like claiming each other all over again. "I meant what I said," Minjai told her afterwards. "I want forever with you." "I want that too, and I'm not scared anymore." Simone kissed him. "I choose you. However fast this is, however unconventional, I choose you." "Thank God, because I'd already bought a ring." Simone laughed. "You what?" "I bought an engagement ring 3 weeks ago. I've been carrying it around, waiting for the right moment." He kissed her. "But I'll wait as long as you need before actually proposing. I just wanted you to know I'm serious. Show me the ring." "Simone, show me." Minjai got up, retrieved a small box from his dresser, handed it to her. The ring inside was stunning, a perfect round diamond in a platinum setting, elegant and timeless. "It's beautiful," Simone breathed. "So, is that a yes? Are you actually proposing right now?" "I'm asking if you'd say yes if I proposed right now." Simone looked at the ring, looked at Minjai, thought about the last 3 months. The scandal, the chaos, the intensity, the genuine happiness she'd found with someone she'd barely known. "Ask me in 6 months," she said. "Ask me when we've been together long enough that no one can say it's just rebellion or scandal. Ask me when we're absolutely sure." "I'm already sure." "Then 6 months won't matter. Ask me then, and I'll say yes." Minjai smiled, kissed her thoroughly. 6 months. I'm holding you to that." 6 months later, almost to the day, Minjai proposed. It was not at a fancy restaurant or some orchestrated romantic gesture. He proposed at home, on a regular Tuesday night, while they were cooking dinner together. "Marry me," he said, completely out of nowhere. "What?" "It's been 6 months. You said to ask you in 6 months, so I'm asking. Marry me. Now? While I'm chopping vegetables? Now, tomorrow, 6 months from now. I don't care when, I just need to know you'll say yes eventually." He turned off the stove, pulled her into his arms. I love you. I want to spend my life with you. And I've waited 6 months like you asked. So, Simone Parker, will you marry me? Simone pretended to consider, just to watch him panic slightly. Yes, she finally said. Obviously, yes. The ring fit perfectly, because of course it did. Min-jae was nothing if not thorough. They got married 4 months later, in a small ceremony on Jeju Island, with just close friends and family. Simone's parents came. Min-jae's grandmother came. Even Mr. and Mrs. Lee came, though they still looked disapproving. Jin-woo didn't attend. But he sent a gift, card that said simply, I was wrong. You two are perfect for each other. Congratulations. A year after that, Simone opened a new Parker Hotel in Seoul, a boutique luxury property that combined American hospitality standards with Korean design aesthetics. Min-jae funded it, naturally, but he insisted on being a silent partner. This is yours, he told her at the grand opening. Your vision, your success. I'm just lucky enough to be along for the ride. 2 years after the wedding, they had their first child, a daughter they named Grace. She had Min-jae's eyes and Simone's determination and screamed loud enough to wake the entire building. She's perfect, Min-jae said, holding her for the first time with tears streaming down his face. Just like her mother. I'm not perfect. You're perfect for me. That's what matters. 5 years after the engagement party where they'd first met, Simone stood in their apartment. They'd bought a house in Pyeongchang-dong, near, but not too near, Min-jae's parents, and reflected on how drastically her life had changed. She'd been prepared to marry the wrong man for the right reasons, to settle for security instead of passion, to spend her life wondering what if. And then Lee Min-jae had walked into that ballroom, looked at her like she was the only person in the world who mattered, and changed everything. What are you thinking about? Min-jae asked, wrapping his arms around her from behind. About how I almost married your brother. We don't talk about that anymore. It upsets me. He kissed her neck. Besides, you made the right choice eventually. I did. Even though everyone said we were moving too fast, that it would never last, that the scandal would destroy us. Everyone was wrong. We're disgustingly happy, and it's annoying to everyone around us. He turned her around. 5 years. Not bad for a relationship that started with you being engaged to my brother. Not bad at all. Think we can make it another 50? With you? Absolutely. Simone kissed him. You're still my favorite mistake. I'm not a mistake. I'm the best decision you ever made. That too. They'd taken the hardest possible path to get here. Started their relationship in scandal, built it in chaos, chose each other despite every logical reason not to. But looking at Min-jae, at the life they'd built together, at their daughter sleeping in the next room, Simone knew she'd do it all again exactly the same way. Because sometimes the wrong choice turns out to be the right one. And sometimes the billionaire playboy, who steals his brother's fiancée, ends up being the love of your life. If you loved Simone and Min-jae's forbidden love story, hit that like button. Drop a comment. Could you leave your fiancé for his brother? Would you risk everything for someone you just met? Could you forgive the scandal and choose love over what's right? Subscribe to Afro-Korean World TV for more intense love stories where forbidden becomes forever and scandal becomes happily ever after. We're family here, and I appreciate every single one of you. See you in the next story.